weekend, we're having our annual war games. Now, Simpson, because of your many years as a nuclear technician, we're putting you on a nuclear sub.
Nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear.
Oh, whatever.
Nuclear.
Grimerica.
They are pure, they have no negativity, and remind them that they are not alone. They can connect the departed, the ones that they love, they lost, to an angel and connect to this person.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grimerica show. We're going to be chatting with Marie-Ange Faugerolas a little bit later about angels and such. And we got RPJ joining us for the intro. But first, as always, Graham, I say nuclear with 3 syllables, Dunlop. How's it going, buddy?
Not too bad. I don't even deny that. I think that's the right way to say it. It's nuclear. What's wrong with that?
That was right. That was 2 syllables.
Nuclear. That's what I always say, no?
Sometimes you say nuclear.
Nuclear?
Nuclear.
Nuclear. Anyways, it's Red Pill Junkie. I think we should say his full name, not RPJ, because just people won't understand what RPJ are. So
should we expose his?
It's interchangeable.
Yeah, well, for some. How are you, Red?
Oh, I'm pretty good. You know, finishing up the year, trying to finish up some of the projects that I have left to the wayside in order to get some dinero. But yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty excited with the things I'm coming up, the projects I've been collaborating, and just can't wait to finish them up and in order to release them to the public.
Huh? Can you give us a tease?
Yeah, well, you know, the project I've been working up specifically is the upcoming book by Greg Bishop, you know, who used to write for the defunct website UFO Mystic alongside with our good friend Nick Redfern. And Greg is like a personal hero of mine. You know, he's to me one of the persons I admire the most in this field. So the moment that he asked me to collaborate with him and asked me to illustrate this anthology of writings that recollection of some of the things that he wrote for UFO Mystic, it's like one of the things, like imagine that you are like the biggest Star Wars fans in the world, and suddenly you get a call from J.J. Abrams and asks him, you know, do you want to come over and help me work on episode 7? It's like you had me at hello, right? so it's been a pretty exciting thing. It's one of the things that you get emboldened by your ignorance, because at first you think, oh well, how hard can it be? Right? But then it turned out to be quite hard in some of the chapters in order to illustrate some of the things that Greg wanted to communicate. But fortunately, that's over, and now comes the part of trying to design the book cover for the book, which hopefully would be released before the Christmas holidays.
Huh. So you're doing the cover?
Yeah, you know, Greg also asked me to do that, and once again, you know, emboldened by my ignorance, because I'm not really a graphic designer by trade, but I know a thing or two about working my way with Photoshop and the like. So I'm trying to do the best I can, and hopefully by the time I'm done, it won't be a terrible eyesore. You know, it will be actually something that you might get to try to take a look at if you see it on the Amazon bookstore, or maybe hopefully in some Barnes and Nobles or local bookstore near you.
Well, we have full confidence in you. You did our logo, and it's still catching people's eye.
Now it's a T-shirt.
Now it's a T-shirt. Yeah. Speaking of T-shirts, you can donate to the show and we'll ship you a T-shirt.
Yeah.
How do they see pictures of the T-shirt?
And RPJ doesn't get a cut.
How do our listeners get
You
pictures?
son of a...
Actually, you know what? I had somebody mention to me that
We should give him a cut.
that
maybe
your
someday.
signature wasn't on
No,
it.
we own it. You gave it to us. We'll beat you in court.
Well, if you could at least put my, RPJ PL in one of those T-shirts, that would be
Is it not on
compensation
any
enough.
of them? Not even
No.
the original ones? That's pretty dirty.
Oh, it was the color. We talked about it. It was just an extra charge for another color.
Oh, yeah, it's
so
like an extra $3 a shirt. Maybe we could just
we'll
get...
do a special edition with the red pill. For sure, red pill.
Right.
Okay.
We could just put the pill in black and white.
No, then it
Yeah.
wasn't. There was no point in
Or-
putting it on. We decided
It's not
not to
$3
put
a shirt, though.
Here in these illustrations for Greg Bishop, all the illustrations are in black and white, right? So in grayscale. So I decided to put the signature, the red pill in a dark gray color. So you could maybe do the same.
I think we
all
can
right.
get it done. We should add it to it.
Yeah.
I feel kind of like a dick.
Kind of feel like. Where can people see pictures of the shirt, Dan? On the website or
In the Twitter feed.
in the Twitter feed? You don't have them in a good spot yet.
It's in the Twitter feed and in the Facebook page
Okay.
feed.
We'll update. We'll figure out what to put
Someday
on the
we should put a
website.
page, but then
Yeah.
that's a lot like having a store.
Not a page, just a picture somewhere on it, like a blog, like a T-shirt blog. Just search T-shirt and it's on the blog.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. Anyways, Red, I want to talk to you about you mentioned if people want to meet you, actually, you'll be at UFO Congress, right? This year and at the Paramania. So a couple conferences you got lined up.
Yeah, the Paramania is definitely happening. It's definitely a trip that I'm going to make next year to the United States. It's going to be from April the 1st to the 4th in Dallas, Texas, and it's going to be a really informal, very loose gathering of people who are interested in the kind of stuff that we like to talk about. You're fans of both Radio Misterioso and also Binal of America. We're going to try to have maybe a few road trips, maybe a visit to the Daily Plaza, the place where John F. Kennedy was killed by either Lee Harvey Oswald or a whole cabal of shooters. And maybe from there, we'll go into other interesting places in Texas, maybe even, going to Aurora, the place where there is the legend of a crash of an alien craft in the early 19th century and the occupant that was mercifully buried by the townsfolk. So it sounds to be a really interesting experience, just people who might be interested to go, they should go and visit the Paramania webpage that I think is hosted on the Binal of America webpage. And yeah, I'm also thinking about going to the International UFO Congress, also again with Greg Bishop and other friends of mine, because we're really interested in having a chance to listen to Jacques Vallée, who's going to be one of the speakers in next year's Congress. And to me, it's like a pilgrimage, meeting a person who's been, in my eyes, one of the most important and most influential persons in the field, certainly one of the most influential persons who has shaped my current taking of the UFO phenomenon. So having a chance to maybe have a few minutes in a private conversation with him, would be like a dream come true.
Wow. Yeah, that would
Try and book him, then you can talk to him for a whole hour with us.
Yeah, hand out some of your cards.
Oh,
I
the
don't
ones
think
that
those
I
ever
lost.
made it back to fucking
what?
Mexico, remember?
They didn't make it? I should send you more
Did we
then.
not tell you yet? Have we not broke the news to Graham?
No, I don't think so. I thought that somebody was still looking for them and they'd find them.
Oh, you think that someone's
what do you
still
thought we
looking for
called-
them at the Hilton in
Oh, my
Minneapolis?
God. No, I thought maybe they were just lost in your
Not the
luggage or
Hilton.
something.
It was not that other one.
So I feel bad, Red. I forgot to ask you about Greg's book. So what's Greg Bishop's book about?
Well,
It's a secret.
it's about, no, it's not a secret. It's about Greg's personal take on the UFO phenomenon. And he is a very interesting character because he's neither a true believer nor one of those skeptics who naysay and belittle every single UFO encounter. Greg is of the opinion that the UFO phenomenon is pretty much real, but he is very skeptic of the most popular theories or hypotheses of trying to explain either the origin or the provenance or the purpose of the UFO phenomenon. I think that one of the things that Greg has contributed the most in this field, I think his main contribution is his theory of co-creation, how whenever you have a UFO encounter and you have, this alleged interaction with an other intelligence, there is a whole lot of things that are manifesting that may come from your own psyche and your own cultural baggage. That it's, a way in which maybe the intelligence is trying to interact with you. So in the end, it's a very, very fine and very blurry line in trying to see how much it's coming from the phenomenon itself and how much it's coming from your own psychology.
That's interesting. I wanted to ask you, do you have anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I listened to that podcast that we had talked about on a few shows back, and I do want to pick your brain about that.
Please.
You want to talk about that?
Refresh my memory.
The one on
Bigfoot?
no, the one
Bigfoot?
on the one on Banal, America, with Adam, John, and Adam. I think it was.
Yeah.
Do you want? Can we talk about that?
No.
Oh,
You didn't listen to it yet?
I haven't listened to it, no. But you guys can talk about it.
well, listen, it's a fascinating. It's probably the most fascinating podcast that I listened to this year. This alleged encounter that these guys had in some undisclosed forest I think it was in the Pacific Northwest. So I don't remember the name of this guy. I think it's Adam Neal. Am I right, Graham?
Adam Davis.
Adam Davis, thank you. So Adam Davis is a guy who started in the cryptozoology field in a very, scientific and what you might call the nuts and bolts, what would amount as the nuts and bolts aspect of the UFO phenomenon. But in his case, being a cryptozoologist, he's very much a flesh and blood, very, very down to earth cryptozoology. The kind of thing people who think that Bigfoot is a yet undiscovered flesh and blood animal.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has made quite a few trips for example, to the Congo in search of the Mukele Mbembe. I think he has gone to the Gobi Desert in search of the Gobi, what's the name of this cryptid? In Gobi earthworm, I think, or the sandworm. And he's also going in search of the Orang Pendek, which it seems to be like a cousin of the orangutan, but probably closer in physiological speaking to human beings. So instead of being like a like an ape, like a chimpanzee or whatever. Maybe something closer to what an extinct, I don't know, Australopithecus or some kind of extinct primate.
So he goes on Banal of America with John Carlson about an encounter that they had, right? While searching for, doing like a Bigfoot type hunt with this Bigfoot guy, right?
Yeah, I think that they went along with this guy who claimed to be what in the cryptozoology circles call an habituationist, a guy or a person who claims to have a long-standing, long-term relationship with either one or a single Bigfoot or a group of Bigfoots. So these are the people who claim to live, food offerings and things that the Bigfoot take, and they kind of form like a bond. And I don't know. I'm thinking about the movie Gorillas in the Mist, which portrays this primatologist Diane Fossey who went to Africa in order to protect the gorillas. So I guess it's the same relationship, but Bigfoot, the way these people talk about it, it's not instead of being like some kind of animal, it seems to be closer to a thinking sentient being, maybe not as smart or as intelligent, quote unquote intelligent as a human being, but something that you can get a more complex relationship with. So this Adam Davis and this other guy went to with this guy to the places where he claimed to have interaction with Bigfoot, and apparently during one of those nights they had a really, really freakish encounter with this language is so limiting here.
Yeah, like portal in a way, but there's black high humanoid entities coming out of this kind of like glowing mist or this portal, right? And it happened over 2 nights in a row, actually. So they actually went back, and it happened again. And they both had this. It was hours long, this encounter of these things coming out of this portal, for lack of a better term. And they actually repelled it with flashlights, right? So it kind of kept coming out, and they kept sort of repelling them. But they were quite scared because the things actually like ran at them to. It looked like, in a menacing way.
Yeah, you listen to that interview, and please, I encourage everyone listen to that too. Please, if you must, pause this recording, go to Bienal of America, and go and download that episode in order to get a really good assessment of what we're talking about here.
Did anyone get a picture of it?
No, well, there was no picture. I think it was in the middle of the night. Even if they I'm sure that even if they had cameras, they wouldn't have been able to record anything of use.
Yeah,
but talking about
they did have pictures of it. I think a couple.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, but so anyways, go ahead.
What's clear is that these guys were really, I almost want to say, traumatized by this event. They really were fearful for their lives when this was unfolding, and this was something that Adam Davis didn't want to disclose publicly.
Yeah.
But he was forced to, because this guy, the habituationist, he kind of like spilled the beans online, so he had no choice but to come clean and to confirm what had actually happened. And so for me, it's interesting because I have listened to quite a few interviews with Adam Davis on Binal of America, from mentioning and explaining his trips to in search of the Orang Pendek. So it's an interesting evolution in his way of thinking, from being a very down-to-earth, flesh and blood kind of researcher to having to admit that he himself experienced something that seems to completely go outside of the normal laws of physics. This is something that clearly cannot be explained by our current understanding of science.
And Tim does a great job in the podcast, like chatting with these guys and really just digging up all the information you could possibly, all the good questions that need to be asked, right? The fascinating thing for me is that these guys seem very trusted, or at least Adam Davies did to Tim Binnall. And, so it's this societal kind of thing that, for me, like if people believe these guys because they've been trusted, right? Like, where do you go with that, right? Is now, do you, like, for you, Red Pill, like, do you, you're fairly skeptical, but you're open-minded. So do you believe that this happened, and why? So all these stories, thousands of stories of people seeing stuff, people seeing creatures from UFOs, from portals, from all this stuff. Like, now, doesn't this give a certain number of people a reason to believe those others more because of the trust factor?
Well, you know me. I mean, I believe that something happened to them. Whether they are interpreting it correctly, it's very difficult to assess because we only have their testimony. This episode clearly reminded me of all the things that were mentioned in this book, The Hunt for the Skinwalker. All these things that allegedly happened in this infamous ranch that is now the property of Robert Bigelow. And it's one of the things that the moment that you encounter these accounts, they really force you to reassess your understanding or your pet theories about what UFOs or even Bigfoot are all about. These are the things that traditional ufologists and even cryptozoologists would love to get rid of them, and shove them under the rock, because it really opens and really messes up with the kind of theories that we would like to have in order to reassure us that in the end things are, even the things that traditional science are not willing to acknowledge, are nevertheless intelligible enough for the human mind to comprehend. But if you think about portals that can open up in the middle of the forest and entities that climb out of them and that you can kind of like neutralize them with flashlights, then, you get with that, and then it really messes with you, because then you realize that all bets are off.
Well, the other thing that I thought about was how much perception plays into that, right? Like, those guys were sure, they were 100% sure that these things meant them harm, only because of the grimace on their alien-looking face, and they were running towards them, right? But the Bigfoot dude was off, like, he didn't fucking care. He was like, those guys are part of the Sasquatch crew, or they're affiliated somewhat with Sasquatch, and his perception was, the Sasquatch are okay with these beings, so I'm okay with these beings, and he wasn't threatened by them. So, why the perception? Like, why, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can some people be not afraid and some people be afraid?
Also, it's interesting to analyze the outcome of this event. How Adam Davis' companion, whose name again it escapes me,
John Carlson.
ended up interpreting the experience in a religious background.
Mm-hmm.
And the experience only reinforced his long-lost sense of spirituality, and he re-embraced his Christianity, whether Adam Davis has tried to maintain an agnostic stance. He's not saying, oh, well, these beings were clearly demons that were trying to harm us. I think that he's trying the best he can to say, well, something happened, something I cannot comprehend, but I'm not willing to try to give up and interpret this weird experience and color it based on a given religious or cultural tradition. I'm sure that's maybe someone from a different cultural background, not Christian, maybe they would have interpreted completely different. I'm wondering what a Native American would have said about what happened there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, what if they weren't scared and didn't take them as hostile? Like, how would that have changed the encounter, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a Native American would say, well, you guys, Adam Davis and your party were clearly trespassing on some sacred ground, so these entities were trying to get you out of there.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about this because it opens up a whole different level of acknowledgement to these types of encounters, because it seemed to me like, especially Tim, and I mean, if you trust Tim, which I think you do, and Tim sort of trusts Adam, it really does like just lend more credibility to a whole bunch of these encounters possibly.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm really interested to see what happens to Adam Davis in the future, whether he will pursue this new understanding or whether he will see it as a one-off and trying to get back to the comfortable research that he's accustomed to, going to Indonesia in search of the orang pendek and looking for tracks and looking for the usual stuff and trying to find DNA and whatever, instead of, I don't know, getting back to that place where they had this horrific encounter and trying to maybe, reopen that portal.
Yeah. Yeah, so fascinating. People don't hesitate to go there and listen to it. You too, Darren. I'm interested to see what you think.
Oh, maybe over the holiday.
Maybe.
Yeah,
So
maybe
you'll have to send it to me again.
Oh,
What about trying to get Adam Davis on Grimerica?
Well, I'll have to listen to it first, but yeah, probably it sounds cool.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
It
sure.
is
Fucking
cool,
zombies coming out of portals is always pretty fun.
Yeah, but it's the whole format of the podcast and the level of balanced, conversation, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, what else we got, Darren? Can I do the UFO quote of the week here? Or?
Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else. It's kind of applicable.
What's applicable?
This quote.
Is it about zombies coming out of portals?
No, not quite. But this is actually it was sent from Larry K.
Larry King?
Yeah, Larry K. No, Larry.
I was thinking the same thing.
He says, don't know if these are new, but he's passing them along. So this is the quote. Intelligent beings from other star systems have been and are visiting our planet Earth. They are variously referred to as visitors, others, star people, ETs, etc. They are visiting Earth now. This is not a matter of conjecture or wistful thinking. And this is from Theodore C. Loader III, PhD, Professor Emeritus of Earth Sciences at the University of New Hampshire.
Well, he might have a PhD, but I'm really skeptical of his certainty about the provenance of these intelligences.
I can't wait till you meet an alien one day, Red.
What are you gonna ask him?
I don't know. I think that Bruce Duensing had the best question for when that hypothetical meeting with an alien. His question will be, "What am I?"
Oh.
No, and I think that's
slave will be the answer.
No. Well, who knows? I mean,
what if he says ugly all day?
I mean, the point of that question is to try to say how the other is the only mirror that you could have in order to look at yourself from a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Yep. Definitely.
I mean, maybe that's the reason why we are so obsessed to finding other intelligences in the universe, because we need that
validation.
That if you want to call it that, validation. Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
Hey, are you still making T-shirts and stuff, Red, or what's going on with that?
Oh, that's been
kibosh, kind of. Okay.
I have like a 30 or 40 T-shirts that I could easily mail.
For sale?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. There you go. How do they get a hold of you?
Oh, try to find me on Facebook or
well, send me some links.
They don't know your name. They're going to have a hell of a time finding you on Facebook. We've never actually revealed your name.
They can find me on Facebook and if they search for Red Pill Junkie.
All right. Hey,
then they might find that other Red Pill Junkie.
No, I'm not even sure he has a Facebook.
The nemesis.
We do have a question here though from before we let this thing end.
A question?
Yeah.
For who?
A question for me?
From James Nation. And he says, do you believe they're visiting then, Red? That's the question.
Do you believe what?
They're visiting.
Who's they? The aliens?
Yeah. Let's say, no, let's just specify. I think he means extraterrestrials, not like interdimensional or not inner Earth.
I think that the problem with that question is that it's already limiting the answers that it's hoping to elicit. Like, okay, if you're thinking of these other intelligence as quote unquote visitors, then you are positing that these entities are coming from another point in the universe, another dimension or whatever. But what if they are actually from here, from another aspect of our reality that we humans are maybe so dumb or so obtuse or so close-minded that we rarely perceive it? Then if we acknowledge that maybe that's not the case, then these quote-unquote visitors are, local residents.
Huh.
From the inner Earth, maybe.
Well, if they are from the inner Earth and they are more advanced than us, then it goes to reason that they have been on this planet longer than we have. So in that sense, we are the newcomers and they are, the actual owners of this planet.
Okay, well, let's just
stick with it. Maybe they just keep fucking us up every time we start getting ahead.
Yeah.
Well,
stamp us down.
Then they see us as vermin or maybe, some kind of, I don't know,
plague.
Some kind of pest that they have to get rid of.
But what about the strict extraterrestrial hypothesis then? So we're talking about not like inner Earth or interdimensional, but from another planet like ours, traveling here through wormholes or beyond the speed of light or however they get here.
It's still a possibility, but we still don't have any kind of substantial evidence to support any single kind of provenance to the UFO phenomenon. We only know that people from time to time see weird things in the sky, and they have weird encounters with what seems to be a non-human intelligence.
So put your need of proof aside and just go with your gut. Like, what would you say your like gut feeling is? If you were to put money on it and you were going to find the truth out in a bit, would you say they are or not?
They are or not what?
Visiting.
Yeah, I think that there is a non-human intelligence that is interacting with us. Whether that non-human intelligence is local and is visiting us from another star system, another universe, another level of reality, another, virtual simulation, I can't say for sure.
Alrighty. There you have it.
Sorry for being a killjoy.
No, I'm just
what can I say?
really
I'm a Greg
curious.
Bishop's fan.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that Greg Bishop and his writing forced me to acknowledge, that we don't know shit when it comes to the whole provenance of the UFO phenomenon.
I know we don't know shit. I was looking for a feeling, but that's all good.
My feeling is that the less certainty we have with regards to this phenomenon, maybe the more chance we have to actually get him some concrete answers.
Right. All right, Darren, what do we want to do now?
The only thing that's certain is uncertainty.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
No, I think we should save it, whatever I've got, for the next episode.
Well, what do we got then? Donate to the show.
Yeah.
Grimerica.ca/support. Sign up for a monthly. Listen, you can start you can start light, start at the $1 a month level. Maybe you like the show a little more, you go up to $2.
Or you can just help out with a one-time donation.
Yeah, or you can just spam Graham. Or you can review the show with hopefully more than 1 star.
And we will have an episode coming out soon where James Nation joined us because he donated to the...
He joined the 432 club.
Yeah. And
awesome.
He got to pick a guest who was Stanton Friedman. That was a great chat. So
donate $430 and you can do that too. And tell your friends about the show. By signing them up for the newsletter. Or strangers or whoever.
Thanks for coming on, Red.
Enjoy the chat
pleasure, guys.
What do you think about angels, Red?
It's a good question. I think it's,
yeah,
maybe manifestations from the divinity that are more able to interact with us.
There you have
it. Well,
you heard it here first.
Marie-Ange Faugerolas is coming up next, and
she's going to tell us all about it.
Bible, like 500 pages on angels, and it's pretty interesting stuff.
It's like 8.5 by 11 or something too. It's just fucking huge.
Yeah, from cultures all over the world, so it's very interesting.
Reminds me of a textbook.
Yeah.
Are you eating fucking almonds right now? All right, guys. Enjoy the chat with Marie-Ange, and we will see you in the outro.
Bye.
All right, so tonight we have Marie-Ange Faugerolas with us, and she's an award-winning French author. She's written like 13 books. She's got a degree in art and archaeology. Very interesting person here. We have her latest book here in the studio. It's a massive tome. It's Angels, the definitive collection to angels from around the world. So she's done a whole lot of homework here on this one. Really interesting in talking to her about this, because I know, we hear about people that have experiences with angels, and we talk about personal experiences all the time on the show. And I'm interested to hear about her background and some people's encounters and experiences with guardian angels and fallen angels and the like. So welcome to the show, Marie.
Yeah, hello. I'm very happy to be with you tonight.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's a fascinating book, very, very in depth, like 500 pages about angels.
Oh, thank you. It's a work that's surprising because I wrote it in 4 months.
Wow.
And yes, because I was really connected to the angels when I wrote it. And I was writing in my house in France, and my children were all around. There were a lot of people, most of the time 12 people in the house. And my office was on the ground floor, so everybody was coming in and out. And the atmosphere was really a holiday atmosphere. It was wonderful. And I was so connected that I could write 12 hours a day, like nonstop. And at night we had barbecues and a little glass of wine. And I would go to bed at 2 a.m, get up at 8 and be at work at 9 and working like crazy. And it went on so well in such a great atmosphere that I never thought it was hard to write it. It was so connected, all the rituals and meditations. I channeled them, and I was in connection with the angels. The information I needed came out of nowhere. Like a tap on my shoulder was telling me, go on the internet for this. This one, you'll find it in your library. And once my daughter, who was a singer, she told me one day, oh, Mom, I'm going to visit a friend in Reims. It's 1 hour from Paris. There's a beautiful cathedral there. I'm going there for the weekend. I said, it's incredible, because I'm looking for a book that is in the bookstore at the cathedral. And the after the weekend, she brought me the book. That was absolutely amazing. It was all the time like this, like snapping fingers, and I got the information. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you feel like you channeled the book, because we've talked to some artists recently and musicians about creativity and where creativity comes from, and being in that flow state or that meditative state, and being able to connect with whatever, your higher self, angels, or channeling. So you really feel like you're in that zone.
Oh yes, absolutely, and especially for the rituals, meditations, prayers. Whatever ritual it was, massage, whatever you can perform with the angels, I was completely channeling. Like it was, like you said, it's a flow. It comes from an upper dimension, and it flows in your mind. You don't even need to think. It's just awesome. You're in front of the computer and you think of an idea. For instance, I was thinking I would like to write a meditation about how to meet the soulmate, and then all the information popped in my mind right away. And sometimes I could barely type. It was difficult because I'm not a great typer. And sometimes my thoughts were going faster than my fingers on the keyboard.
Wow.
But it was a great experience. It was a wonderful time.
So what was it like when you decided to write it? Like, was there a point in time when, like, it sounds like this was meant to be. So was there something that triggered it? Or when did you decide to actually do this?
Well, my publisher in Canada, because I had a wonderful experience in Canada and I love Canada. And my previous publisher was in Canada. And I had written a book on 2012. Fortunately, it was to tell everybody that, no, the apocalypse is not going to happen. I'm glad I wrote it, not the other way. And because I wrote this book, he said, it's time for you to write a book on angels. And
wow.
I think he felt the energy. And I said, okay, that's a great idea. I've been thinking of it, but nobody really pushed me to do it. And he said, okay, it's your time. Do it now. And this is what happened. It was really unbelievable.
Wow. So were you interested in angels when you were younger, like before the publisher suggested this?
Oh, yes, because my first, let's say, encounter happened when I was 4 years old. And at that time, of course, I didn't know that it was an angelic encounter. But later on, I figured out this is what I saw. I can describe you exactly what happened. I was riding my tricycle in my grandparents' house in France, and I was quite frantic, pedaling pretty fast. And all of a sudden, a bright light, very, very bright, appeared out of the blue right in front of me. So I stopped, and this light really, really infused me with a beautiful energy. And this light really came into me, like in through my body. And then it disappeared because it came through me. And I felt a state of love like doesn't exist here on this planet, a state of immense love. And I felt this is so beautiful. And from that moment, love was definitely in my mind, my heart, my soul. I was thinking about love all the time. And it started from there. And later on, I had more experiences that brought light to this one, and I understood that it was an angelic encounter, that angels brought me some energy. And at that time, I was having hard times because my family is very conservative, and I was very open-minded to everything, like the supernatural, ever since I was very little. And then I started seeing ghosts and having connection with the, let's say, the other world, like behind the veil. And the angels really enhanced this ability that I had to connect with the other world. Wow. And from there, step by step, I built my great connection with the angels, and it was the right time. And many, many things happened. They saved me, and many times a tire blew up my car, and a lot of stuff happened. And without the angels, I would not be here today to talk to you.
Wow.
So I'm so grateful to them.
That sounds amazing. So what were some of them, or what was another, while we're talking about your experiences, what was another profound experience? Like if you could get into the details of one of those that...
Yes, there is one that is not, it didn't happen to me, it happened to my son. Because I like to talk about this one because this one is really striking. My son was 2.5 years old. We were in my house in France. And it was summertime, windows were open, and my son was on the ground floor taking a nap in his room. He was in a cot, and he was supposed to sleep. The window, therefore, was open, and I was in the living room reading, writing, whatever. And I heard the French windows overlooking the front yard were open, and I heard steps on the gravel. And I was wondering, who was that? I didn't expect anybody, and then nothing. And all of a sudden, I didn't see anybody. And all of a sudden, somebody rang at the door. I opened the door, and I saw right in front of me a very tall man who was carrying my son, meaning that my son probably climbed over the windowsill and disappeared in the, I don't know where he was, but this man brought my son back, and the dangers were the road. There was a pond right after, and railroad tracks at the end of the road. Wow. So it was so dangerous. It was like an accumulation of dangers, and his life was such in really hanging by a thread. And what happened is that my son at that time, he couldn't speak. He didn't know obviously where we were located at, how to tell this person, this is my mother, she lives there at this place, she's there in the house. He couldn't say this. And this person, nobody heard about him in the village, nobody heard about him. So I finished the stories, then he handed me my baby, and I was flabbergasted, speechless, like, oh, really? And I couldn't utter a word, even though I tried to thank this man, but I couldn't. Something prevented me from talking. And this person left. I closed the door, and I looked through the French windows, and nobody was there. Nobody. And no step on the gravel, meaning this person is leaving the house. Nobody was there. And then I investigated in the village. I asked the people, did you see a tall, very tall man? He was clad like this and that, and I described how he was dressed. And nobody, absolutely nobody, had ever heard of this man, seen this man, or even thought this man could have been in the village at a certain time. So that's the most amazing story that happened to my son that I can tell you today, because it's really striking. And besides the fact that my son at that time had no conscience of what happened, now he's 23 now, so he's not a baby anymore. And he always says, I'm alive thanks to an angel.
Wow.
So it's quite amazing.
Has he had any other experiences since then?
Yes, but at 23, you don't feel like he's building his career as a filmmaker. He's studying, and so he's not much into it. But I can tell you that he has a big project that's related to angels. Of course, when you've been through this experience and with me around, obviously, of course, yes, he's connected, and yes, and the whole family is connected also.
Yeah. Taryn, did you have a question? So what's the difference between like the guardian angels, like the one, let's say that saved your son, compared to like the typical like archangels, like Michael or Gabriel and those guys?
Isn't an archangel a bad one?
No, I think no. Archangels are good, right?
Yes, they're 1,000% good.
It's the fallen angels, Darren. Yeah,
exactly.
Just because you think of an arch enemy, like an arch enemy is not your...
The fallen angels are the Nephilim?
Oh, they're... what did you say? I'm sorry. They are what?
Nephilim?
Yes, the Nephilim. Yes, absolutely. Or Grigori as well. But they are fallen angels and archangels. So it's another story, but we can talk about them if you want, because it's part of the angelic story. If you talk about angels, you obviously know about the fallen ones who were before angels and who fell and who became demons. This is what they became, demons. And some of them, it is said that some of them had bred with women, and these women gave birth to giants who were monsters. This is the lore. So we have no evidence of this. It's the lore, but this is the story that's recalled by many people about what could have happened. It's a verbal legend, but it's what is not a legend is that archangels, some of them fell, angels as well. And they became demons, and the Grigori are the ones who fell on earth and who bred with women, and the other ones became demons. And if you believe in angels, there is obviously the existence of demons that you cannot deny, because it's reality, unfortunately, but this is how it is. And the difference, to go back to the question, the guardian angel is the one who is... with us the day we were born and until we cross over. He is for us for one person. Okay. Each person on earth has a guardian angel. So we can say we own him. He is our property, and he's with us all the time. This is probably the angel who brought my son back. He was really with him. Yeah, and there is also the angel of birth that is according to our date of birth. He protects the people in between 4 days from any time. In my book, there is all the dates and the corresponding guardian birth angel. These are the two that we have constantly with us. And then we can call on many, many angels and archangels. And I would like to explain the difference between angels and archangels. Angels is the generic term to describe all the realm of angels and archangels. And then when we talk about archangels, there are higher levels of angels in the celestial hierarchy. And they have different functions according to their level in the hierarchy. For instance, some of them have one function, some of them have many functions. You have, for instance, angels who are archangels who protect families, angels who protect money, finances, who help to find a job. You have angels who are fighting evil. You have Michael, who is the specialist to fight evil and who is also helping the soul to leave the body when we pass on and brings our soul to the celestial realm. Many archangels have several functions, and this shows that they have higher responsibilities. But the common ground between angels who who are in the lower levels of the hierarchy, and archangels and high archangels like cherubim and seraphim, who are very close to God. All the angels, no matter who they are, no matter their function, regardless of their proximity to God, all of them are full of love and have one purpose, is to help us in our life and to help us evolve and to help us awaken our consciousness. This is their common ground. All of them work for these purposes.
Do you notice, like, do people with different birth angels display different personality traits? Like, you know, some people say Scorpios are all the same or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, there's some truth to that, too. Like, you could notice people by their signs, or sometimes I'll even notice it just by first names.
Right.
People with the first name kind of act the same or give me the same vibe.
I always get along with Daves. I do. I've always had good friends with a name Dave. Except for recently, but in my past, I always noticed that. I always played hockey like really well with Daves.
That's cool.
These are the Daves I know.
So yeah, that's a good question, Darren. Do they have the same? Do they have similar?
It's not exactly this way. The people who are protected by the same angel are have a reason to be protected. For instance, some of them are protected against accidents. It's because they are really adventurous and they jeopardize their life more than others. So in this sense, yes, this is why they have a birth angel who is protecting them from accidents. Yes, in this sense, yes, absolutely.
Mine's Yabamia.
Is it?
I don't think so.
Yabamia?
No.
March 6 to 10?
Where did you get that from?
It says names of birth angels for people born on the following dates. So March 6th to 10th is Yabamia.
I think you changed the name because it sounds like abomination. So
it's Yabamiah.
Y. Okay. Yes. So sounds good.
How do you pronounce it?
Y. Can you repeat the Y?
Yab.
Yabo. Yeah. Okay. So I heard abo. So Yabo.
Yabomia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's his thing? What's his deal?
Oh, his deal is, I don't know all of them, of course. It's 72 that I should remember by heart, so I don't know all of them.
Ooh, that's how many years are in...
72, because you have 4 days per 4 days per year. So it's a lot of angels at the same time. So I don't know all the functions by heart. So you need to check in my book then to find this one.
What's mine, Darren?
What's your birthday again? July
11th.
You are... it's another hard one. It's Yael.
Oh, Yael. Mm-hmm.
Yael. I like it.
It's a hard one. You have hard ones.
I know, I got both hard ones.
Mine is Seheya. It's easier to pronounce.
I wonder if there's any correlation between the fact that there's 72 angels and there's 72 years in one processional year.
It's absolutely because these 72 angels are related to the Kabbalah, and the Kabbalah based its studies on all the cycles of life, and definitely can be correlated. Mm-hmm.
Wow, interesting. Mm-hmm. So what about talking about the difference in angels and stuff? What about deceased loved ones helping you out or intervening in your life? Like there was a point that something happened to me where I thought it could have been my father. Like it had some divine intervention, and it was.
Were you in your car?
No, not. Well, maybe earlier that night, but not.
It seems to me like most of the time you need a guardian angel is when you're driving.
No. So are they considered, like, do they get, like, how do they fit into the whole scheme of things?
Oh, it's a very interesting question. Yes, they absolutely do a lot for those who pass on and those who stay on Earth and go through this horrible bereavement and have to grieve these people because it's terrible. So what the angels do, first of all, Michael, the very famous archangel, he helps the soul, like I said previously, he helps the soul to reach the celestial realm. That's the first step. Mm-hmm. Then you have several angels, archangels, who surround the departed and accompany him towards this realm. And in this realm, the deceased are surrounded by angels. And the souls, because it's a matter of now, it's not these essence, human essences are not matter anymore. Right. They are energy, they are light. And this is exactly who they are in heaven. I call it heaven. You can call it the way you want, depending on your belief, your religion, your tradition. Vocabulary is not important. What is important is what you can picture, a realm where you see souls protected by angels and really dwelling in light. It's an abode of light and love. And the people who go through near-death experiences witness that they go through this tunnel of light. They see the departed ones who greet them, and they also see angels. And this is true. I have had a lot of experiences in meditation, and I saw souls and angels protecting them in meditation. And it's absolutely something that makes sense with the scripture, with all the texts and what you can read here and there in different religions. This is, by the way, why this book is about angels around the world, because regardless of traditions, regardless of beliefs, it's all the same. They're all united in the same idea, the same concept, and the same reality, that there is this celestial realm where the souls go and really go through this beautiful heaven of love and light. And the second thing, for those who have lost somebody they really love, I lost my father, and it was terrible. And I was 27 years ago. I felt like everything at that time, I was not in really that high in my research, and I was feeling, how can I connect to him? I don't want to try the automatic writing, because you never know what's going to interfere and come bother you and send you wrong information that will not come. It's quite dangerous. I don't advise anybody to try this. But there is something that's wonderful that you can do. It's connecting with an angel you feel comfortable with, you trust, you are attracted to. It could be an archangel, an angel, it doesn't matter. Some of these celestial beings who you feel very attracted to and really comfortable with and peaceful with, you call on him and ask this angel or archangel to protect your departed one. And I did this for my father, and I guarantee that ever since, my father talks to me. And I receive thoughts that pop in my mind, like out of nowhere. And I know that's him talking to me. And it started from the day I asked an archangel to protect him and to help him connect with me. And it started happening. And one day, I smelt his perfume on his skin, which is a special scent that you cannot smell when you open a perfume bottle. It's just something that's very special, the mixture of the scent of the skin and the perfume. I smelled it, and I really guarantee that this procedure perfectly works, and it's very sound, it's very safe, there is no negative interference. And I would suggest that if this happens to anybody in our audience, they could do this. It's very helpful, and you can stay in contact with your loved one. He's by your side, and the angel helps to create the connection between the loved one and yourself.
So what is the difference between a regular angel and an archangel then?
So it's a question of power and of having more functions. For instance, a guardian angel is guarding one person. An archangel can guard the whole planet. So it's different. It's different levels of responsibilities. For instance, if you work in a group, you would rather ask an archangel to work with you than an angel, because an angel has less power. It's a matter of energy. They do the same thing. Some of them have more energy because they are allotted one person, and some of them have a lot of energy because they're allotted several groups or nations or countries, whatever. It depends on the quantity of people and of the level of responsibility. But they're, like I said, they do the same thing.
So those angels could have been helping my dad help me, sort of thing, like.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Of course.
My sister had it. My sister had an experience, a couple lucid dreams with him, showing her some stuff. Very interesting as well.
Well, there was an angel connecting them?
No, my dad came to my sister in a couple really vivid lucid dreams, and like basically took her for a little spin around the universe, I think, or something like that. It was pretty cool. So how do you recommend connecting? Like you mentioned meditation a couple times. What is your favorite meditation, and what do you suggest for people that want to try and connect with their angels? And then I have another question after that about telling the difference between, like, you mentioned automatic writing, and you mentioned also that you were sort of channeling your book as well. So telling the difference,
of course, between
the two would seem important to me, and because we have heard that you got to be careful who you trust when you're channeling things. So
right. So to the first question was about I don't remember
the meditation.
The meditation, yes. Meditation is a very interesting way to connect with angels, because you put yourself besides the world. You put yourself aside. The world, the challenging, your challenging life, the noises from the street, the noises from the TV, radio, whatever. You create a very peaceful atmosphere. This is the first thing that makes you relax and unwind in a very positive way. Then you can do the meditation that you like. Either it's something that you feel, in a good mood and you want to create a connection. Just for the connection, receive love and light, it's perfect. Or you have a specific purpose. In this case, it's good to ask an angel related to the purpose. This is why the angels sent me channeled these meditations with specific requests. For instance, finding a job, connecting to the planet and work for the human consciousness. You work for yourself to find your soulmate, to have a better relationship with your family. So many fields in which you can work with a specific request. And this is why the meditation will enhance the energy. In other words, meditation has two purposes. First of all, make you feel peaceful and ready to connect. The second reason is that also you will target a specific angel or archangel who will be able to help you out on this specific purpose. The more specific you are, the more you get results and faster results. And also because you celebrate your connection with the angels. Meditation can also include the creation of the setup of an altar that you have in your house. You put a little white cloth somewhere on the table and bring a candle, bring salt and water in order to repulse negativity. You bring little objects, what you like, flowers, pictures,
crystals.
Whatever, crystals, incense, essential oils, whatever makes you feel happy. Because the purpose of connection with angels, it's always to be happy. It's always to make you feel happy to do it. And I would say some people are very serious doing this connection with angels. It's very good. But I would like to add that angels love to laugh. Angels love to see us happy, and they enjoy our altars. Like, when you invite your family and friends for Thanksgiving, you celebrate happiness and a beautiful moment together. A meditation has this purpose as well, to enchant the angels who love seeing us, happy to create this altar, happy to see us finding what we have in mind to make this altar beautiful. And I did this with my children several times, and it's a celebration, and everybody's excited and thrilled to do this. And it has to be in this state of mind. Otherwise, if you're very sad, of course, if you need help and support, you can do it as well. But knowing that when you do this, your depression, when you're really, really down, your negativity is going to go away while you're preparing everything, and while you're connecting, it's going to cleanse your negativity. This is why I really recommend to perform meditations and receive this love, this beautiful love and energy that is going to come into your heart, and you will feel it. You will feel tingling in your hands. It's something tangible. It's not something that's in your imagination. Your body can be really stuck to the floor, like you're pinned to the floor or to the mattress where you meditate, and you cannot move. Sometimes it happens when you are on deep, deep meditation, and it's really impressive. I don't know if you experienced this, both of you, but
I have a little bit. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, I get the shiver when I'm exercising or listening to music or like in nature or like watching a sunset or something. I get that that really intense body shiver kind of. Yeah.
Right, and it's very, very, very strong, and it opens all the chakras, the 7 chakras. You really release all the negativity and open the chakras and let go of the tensions and let go of the worries and let go of the ordeals. And this is your moment for you and your angel, and that's why it's great. It's
it really sounds to me like the law of attraction, and it almost parallels like people talking about the affirmations and affirming that what you want in your life and in the future, instead of even asking for it. You're like, I will find a soulmate or whatever it is, and then the universe will change everything to make it happen, like if you desire it enough, right? So how do you know, like, do people, is it the same thing, and it's just the way, like, some people call it angels and some people call it the collective consciousness or the universe or quantum physics or whatever, or do you think there's a separation there?
No, I think it's exactly the same thing. Behind a lot of great things that happen to people are angels at work. And we don't always know that they are at work. And when we have these positive thoughts and specifying, I want to meet my soulmate, for instance, I want to find a new job, I want to change my life, improve it and do this and that, all this goes to the angels. So people who don't really believe in angels and who say, oh, it's the universe, because I don't want to say it's an angel because it's too
dogmatic,
Christian, dogmatic, or, and I think it's exactly the same, because who does the work? These creatures, these entities of love who will bring us what we need. So whether you're a Reiki practitioner, a yoga instructor, you practice Feng Shui, you enjoy different techniques, sophrology, I don't know, there's so many techniques and so many ways to connect. But to me, there is a universal creature in the end that will listen to your request and your prayer and going to convey it to who is going to make it happen. So to me, it's universal. And if you believe that there is a God, there is a divine who is working for us to develop and to enhance our power and our potential and work with more than 10% of our right brain, if we believe this, which is real, because we need to expand our potential with the brain, if we do this, we definitely are all the same. We are all the same humans, and we have all the same purposes to be happier and more successful and help others and become a better person. This is the inner consciousness, and when we reach it, it's universal. We tap into the universal energy of goodness and of consciousness. So we cannot talk about angels and God without talking about universality and unity and no division, of course.
Well, and you found that in your research, right? Didn't you? From all the different traditions around the globe, there's that commonality, isn't there?
Yes, there's a common ground. If you talk about Buddhist angels, which are not called angels, but you have the story of the Buddha's mother, who was dreaming of guardians of the East, and she became pregnant, and she knew that these guardians of the East were protecting her. Well, of these guardians of the East, it's exactly as really Christian or Jewish angels, or even Muslim angels, because in Islam you have Gabriel, you have you have Raphael, who are angels in the Quran. So in every religion you find these creatures. In Zoroastrianism, you have the same type of celestial creatures, 6 of them, who have functions identical to those of the angels. You find them in the Thunderbird of Native Americans, who is sent by the Great Spirit and is a messenger and protector. So, whatever you call them, regardless of your background, it's the same. You have these entities, celestial beings, protecting you, guiding you, helping you out, and showing you the way, and helping you achieve your destiny, because I believe everybody has a destiny on this planet.
Interesting. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question about automatic writing.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I was going to get back around to that.
Okay, so there's a big difference between channeling and automatic writing. That is, it's the intention, it's the purpose. When you want to connect to a departed one, you have the intention of creating this connection. When you channel, most of the time you don't expect anything. It comes because it comes, and it's always positive. I absolutely insist on this. When you channel something with the right side, I should say, the positive energy, angels, God, this is always something that is positive and makes you happy, makes you peaceful, makes you reassured, comforted. It's always something that is absolutely 100% positive. If you feel insecure, if you feel unsafe, if you feel anxious, if you feel a little bit uncomfortable, this is a different type of energy. And when you practice automatic writing, you risk to be connected to, let's say, wandering spirits.
Yeah, trickster spirits or something, right?
Trickster spirits. Mm-hmm.
And
or
like
demons. Demons.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and then, so isn't there a risk that they come across positive in order to make you complacent, and then they turn negative? Like, can you see that shift that was ever to happen?
It never happened to me, because I was in it was a positive Bible when I did it.
Yeah.
But I tried, like everybody. I tried when I was much younger. I tried automatic writing, and I didn't come up with anything interesting. It was like words, one after the other, and I didn't feel anything, but I just had the intuition that I was not surrounded by positive energies, because it's a craving. A craving is not good. It's something. Craving is I don't know how to develop this, but it's a kind of instinct, like a craving. When you channel, you're doing something and you receive information. It's different. A craving is sort of demand. It's not even a request. It's a demand. I want this, and in this way, it's different from something that comes from the heart. If you really want to connect to a departed one, really do something smooth, do something positive, something that calms you down, and something that makes you comfortable, not in a frantic stress. This is why meditation and this connection to angels, as I said before, is very convenient and very safe. I insist on this point. It's very safe.
Yeah, and that's where mindfulness comes into play. To be acknowledging those cravings, like to be able to watch them and see them. If you don't have that mindfulness, you can't tell the difference between craving and just thoughts, or you know what I mean. Like I used to get caught up with cravings all the time, but at least I can sort of catch them now. Yes,
because you understood what it was about, and once you really once you understand, you really can handle it. It's easier to handle it. Mm-hmm.
Did you run into like any instances of the jinn in angels in any of your research? Like, do they ever get mixed up in altercations?
No, I didn't. But in my personal life, I had to face negativity and very strong energies. Yes, I did. Because when you connect to this realm and you spread a message, there is obviously entities that try to stop you. Because the purpose of the dark side is to stop the good. So, yes, I have been confronted to I have several stories and personal difficulties with that kind of stuff.
Wow.
It's like Star Wars.
The dark side.
The dark side, yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that, because there's a battle going on then, let's say angels versus demons, and angels are protecting us and demons are trying to harm us. And if you look at the state of the world right now, I mean, of course it depends on your perception. I mean, I can... if you don't watch the news and you don't pay attention to that, I mean, you could have a pretty, positive perception of the world. But if you're, if you do look at all that negative stuff, who's winning the battle right now? I mean, look at what's happening around the globe. It seems like there's a lot of polarity. There's a lot of positive things, but there's also a lot of real negative things.
Yes, and we see that the duality is developing more and more, because there's a lot of positive. It's been like 25 years during which consciousness has really greatly evolved. And I noticed this 20 years ago, people were not so interested in their awareness, meditation, all these techniques we talked about before. Nobody was really into it. Now a lot of people have awakened their consciousness and really want to evolve and improve their possibilities, their inner strength, and make themselves a better person and make the world a better place. A lot of people have this in mind, and this is very interesting, because ever since this happened, the other side has been attacking in a very vicious and sneaky and devious way. And it's because there is a great improvement in the consciousness and the growth of consciousness, and more people are aware of the divine, of the goodwill that they can turn the will they can turn into goodwill, from free will to goodwill. A lot of people are in this idea, scenario, and scheme. And whereas people work on this, others work with the other side, trying to undermine all these efforts, all these improvements, and trying to destroy. This is what evil was for. This is because the story of the genesis of evil is Satan and the fallen angel. This is obviously very symbolic, but it's interesting because what created evil is envy and jealousy and pride
and greed too.
And greed. But regarding Satan, it was not really greed. Greed came with the rest. Okay. I think greed is the aftermath of the rest.
Okay.
But the thing is, to me, what creates this horrifying violence and these conflicts in the world, it's jealousy and envy. This is the worst. This is what people complain about. Oh, my neighbor is envious. My coworker is jealous because I had a promotion or whatever. And I think jealousy is the root of evil. If we could eradicate jealousy and wish good for everybody and respect their own path and their own accomplishment and self-realization, the world would be so different.
So even at the higher levels, like, because when I think about what's going on in the world right now, I can't help that there's some sort of wonder if there's some sort of demonic intervention at the higher levels of whatever, government, military, industrial complex, like the people that are pulling the strings and actually like, like creating the situation that we're in right now. So, but jealousy and envy doesn't seem to fit in with that. It's like greed and power at that level or something like.
Yes, but it's the consequence of jealousy. This jealousy, he has the power. Power. What is it? The thirst for power is I want to have what this person has, or I want to have more than what he has. This is related to envy. It's the consequence of this. Envy, that is a very, very vicious. It's very vicious feeling to envy people, because it brings a lot of negative thoughts and behaviors and deeds and incites you to behave in a terrible way. And I think what happens, and you're very right about the war. I think there is a spiritual war that takes place beyond our comprehension, beyond our realm,
right?
And there is evil that's maneuvering a lot of governance and a lot of politicians and people who have power to make decisions at a really high level. And I absolutely believe many of them are the puppets of evil. It seems hard to say, but it's true.
Maybe not even consciously, but.
Yes. Oh, sometimes it's absolutely unconsciously. They have no idea of what's happening and what's going on, and they don't even have an idea that there could be a spiritual war and that evil is trying to use them for a certain purpose. No, they have no idea. Most of the time, some may have ideas, and some might be on that side and feel like it's more rewarding than fighting on the side of the good, but. That's unfortunately what some choose to do.
So is that the fallen angels that are influencing that a little bit? Are the dark angels?
How do I become an angel?
I was going to ask that, Darren, not for you specifically, but I was going to ask, like, if you're deceased, if you die, are you like one step closer to?
Are you automatically an angel? Is it like if you're good, you're an angel, and if you're bad, you're a demon?
Oh, no, you never. I like this shortcut. No, if you die, you don't become an angel. It happened twice in the scripture, in the Bible, with Eli, who became angel Sandalphon, and Enoch, who became Metatron.
Enoch became Metatron.
Yes, and this is interesting because they didn't even die. The Bible says it's the book of Enoch that says it, that the soul was taken to heaven before the person died, that before Enoch died, or before Eli, who was the prophet, died. So he became Sandalphon, and Enoch became Metatron. And Metatron is very powerful archangel and does a lot of work right now for the world. And if I would consider that none of us is going to become an angel, but we are souls that are really welcome to this world of angels, and they welcome us and we stay with us in the light. Some people believe in reincarnation. No problem. It works. Like you go to this world and then you come back to Earth for a certain purpose, learn more, and then you go back to this world. There is no problem with it. It matches everything.
Do you think it's just this world?
Sorry?
Do you think it's just this world, or can I go someplace else next time?
I personally question it still. I still question it because I sometimes feel, I have seen this before. It's probably because I met this person in a previous life, and after I question it. So it's not really clear in my mind. I don't really know. But
do you mean about reincarnation itself? I think Darren was trying to ask if you can go to a different planet, like a different Earth, basically.
Okay.
Right, Darren, or what?
Yeah, well, both are good.
Both good.
Yeah, both work. You know, I think we need to have a very open mind right now. Everything's possible. In meditation, I've seen different planets and people on different planets.
Yeah.
Everything's possible.
Yeah.
Everything's possible. I think we need it's time for the whole world to have an open mind. Everything's possible.
Yeah, I was going to ask about reincarnation because it does seem like reincarnation is one of the one that seems like it's getting harder and harder to ignore. Like it seems like, you know, if there was honestly a real investigation into it, like some of the stuff you hear, it seems like that one's like almost, you know,
foolproof,
it could be fucking peer reviewed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine has written a book in France, and she is investigating. Every time she tells a story, she investigates what she sees. First of all, she concentrates on somebody, and she finds the person who says, "Oh, I feel I'm the reincarnation of this author, this musician who lived in the 19th century, for instance." She takes notes and writes down everything this person tells her about what she feels like she's seen, or she went to, the person she contacted, and everything. She knows all this information. And then she starts, really, it's an investigation. And she discovered that some people have the impression or have been in their previous life to a certain place they tell about without knowing the name of the place. And when she goes to the place, she finds the correlation with what these people said. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It really shows.
I think
that
there's a lot in kids too, right? Where kids seem to, like, up to a certain age, they can sort of recall. And I've heard of like ones that were actually verified that they like figured out who this kid was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Before they get programmed by our culture.
We might also, once we pass on, we might also have another life on another planet, or even in another universe. I think it's time for us to be open-minded to everything. Just the only thing to me that is really there all the time is this duality between good and evil. It's always there.
Huh. So what about people, like getting back to, like, can we become an angel? Like, what about people if reincarnation is real and people are evolving their consciousness and their soul and learning their lessons throughout their lives?
I think it's some sort of weird. And then they become saints. Like, if you become a saint and you're like becoming a super positive person, like, can't you kind of become an angel then? Or? Is that what you're after?
No. I'm just wondering if, like, you can, like, get to the lower ranks of the angelic realm.
Infiltrate the angel system.
I think becoming a saint is not really a great goal, because most of the time saints have no real connection with the real world. Sometimes they are praying all the time, or sometimes they help a lot of people. It depends. But I think it's not our purpose to become a saint. I think it's to teach others to become better. So once we improve, it's time for us to teach. And I think it's the opposite of a selfish behavior. I think we really have this mission on Earth to teach others to what we have learned first, and how to teach also. And it's the ripple effect. Like, the more you teach, the more people will teach, and the more goodness is going to expand, and light is going to spread into the world. So I think this is our purpose. The final purpose, I would be God to tell you what it is. I'm not God, and I cannot tell you. I don't know. I just know that we have a lot to learn, more to do, and it's great because it's a motivation to stay alive and to do different things at any age. And I always insist on the fact that it's great that now we can change life at any age. It's never too late. And this is what I like to say, because for our audience, it's never too late to change life. It's never too late to change projects, to do what you love, to start a new passion, to restart from scratch your whole life if you want to travel, to do whatever. We have more opportunities now than ever. Yeah. And it's good that we can embrace it and tap into the energy, the global universal energy, to use it for good purposes. But the final destination, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I think it's some sort of weird soul entanglement where you're with, it's like some sort of reincarnation, but you're with like
the soul group. You like the
yeah,
soul
you're in
group
a
thing?
group, you know, I don't know what the number would be, maybe a couple of dozen, maybe more, maybe less, but you're just kind of rotating through it.
Your destinies are kind of entangled. And
Yeah, well, it's just like in every reincarnation, you're just playing different roles, but your lives are still...
yeah,
Connected, you mean?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I like the
Yes, of
open-minded. I like the open-minded attitude for sure. But right now, you got to admit we're living in this materialistic paradigm. So even though there's lots of research out there with near-death experience and reincarnation starting to happen, more research there, and then there's other opportunities with lucid dreaming and psychedelics and other things. There's still this real, like, you know, skeptical, materialist, dogmatic structure that we have to live within. It's like we're a schizophrenic society in a way. We've got, you know, people having experiences that are unexplainable and that they're changing their lives, and yet they're not possible according to like our academia. So having said that, it seems to me like people that believe in angels or have contact with angels don't even really care what the skeptics say or whether you can prove it or not, because, you know, proving near-death experience and reincarnation seems a little easier than proving angelic intervention.
Oh, not necessarily. But I feel like what you were saying is very interesting. Obviously, it's always the duality, rationality versus spirituality, whatever it is, whether angels or UFOs or whatever you believe in. The thing is, when you believe in angels, you talk about love, you talk about light, you talk about teaching goodness, about being generous, about improving your demeanor, about being a better person. So you will not be aggressive to these people saying, oh, I've been through this and that. I have experienced an out-of-body experience. I traveled to another planet. If you don't bother them with this type of experiences, but just saying, my connection to the angels just makes me a little bit better than maybe I would be without this connection. Yeah. And I have a purpose is to love the people around me and to spread love in the world as much as I can. I don't think anybody could tell you you're stupid or you're insane. I don't think so. Well, no matter how rational you are, it's not something that's wrong. Yeah. As talking about love is never wrong. So I think we can reconcile somehow rationality and spirituality on this level of love, explaining that we're not doing wrong things, whatever our experiences are. And if they don't believe in our experiences, it's not important. Yeah. As long as they see us radiant, happy to be alive, and loving life and loving people and loving what we aim to do and having a great purpose. This is all positive, and nobody can say this is stupid. I think it's this is the common ground between rational people who are really headstrong on their purpose. Rationality. I don't believe in anything that's beyond my imagination, beyond what I didn't see, beyond experience. Mm-hmm. Although they think this way, they will acknowledge who you are for what you are and what you show. Wow. And this is the magic of angels. This is the magic of this beautiful connection. That's very well said. Yeah, Thank you. I would tend to agree, or at least hope that that's the case. Yeah. All you need is love. Exactly. And my altar. I need to start an altar. That's one thing missing out of my spiritual practice is is that ritual and that altar. I have all the pieces. I just need to put it together. Then you got a cult. See, that's what you're associated when you say altar. That's what you're associated with there. When I associate you with an altar, that's the difference. Thanks. So it's funny though. I wanted to know your personal opinion on this. Like most of the women I know, I would have to say believe in angels. Yet very few men I know would say that. Oh yes, it's very true. There's one reason. It's the reason is iconography, because ever since angels were represented in paintings, stained glass, whatever statues, it's always the same iconography representation of angels with a long pleated toga, with a girdle, with fair hair, blonde eyes,
the wings.
This representation doesn't talk to men nowadays. It talked to men who painted them in the Renaissance times or in the medieval times. But nowadays, men are too rational to agree with these representations. And they feel, if I believe in these beings, I'm not virile enough. I'm not a man. I'm not manly. I'm just a female. So I think it's a very simple reason. And then the other reason is that women have more developed their
intuition.
Intuition, thank you, and much more than men, because intuition is, we always say women have a sixth sense, which is very true, by the way. But
my
men
wife
also
puts you
have
up
it.
to this.
Men also have it. It's just because they deny that they have it. And I insist on this point. Every single human has the same brain. It's just because women are more emotional. This is the main difference. They express their emotions, whereas men try to tap on them and say, no, I'm not emotional. I don't want to deal with this. This is the main reason. So, it's pretty simple.
So it sounds like you think it's cultural though as well, right? Like it's like men in the past may have been just as open about it, but now because of whatever cultural influences men have, we're sort of closed off.
Yes, because men were when men were painting or sculpting or carving angels, they were more in the idea that art is absolutely the core of religion and civilization, whereas nowadays it's more about working, being successful, making money, and men see themselves more in this pattern than in the previous ones. But also the rationality and the fact that it's considered as being a female to listen to emotions and intuition. Men don't really. I don't know, you can tell me more than I can explain this, but this is what I feel. And also I think definitely that angels are these creatures that men can visualize, and it bothers them. But when I talk to men who were open-minded not to these representations that angels could be beings of light and just pure energy and pure love, then they open their mind more than seeing these representations. So it's a matter of presenting the topic, not only about something that takes a form, but something that's real, but in a form that we don't even see. And then angels are more accepted by men.
What about people meeting angelic entities in psychedelic states like DMT and ayahuasca or LSD? Mm-hmm. I think, you get people who meet bad entities too, or indifferent entities, but, some people report angelic. Do you think that's any credence to that?
I don't know. I have not experienced this, but I think this is not very sound, because angels don't need these I don't know how to call this
platform for connection.
Platforms, yeah. Yes, this means to connect. They don't need them. I think it's somehow a desperate way to connect to different realms, because you can do it very simple. If you sit home, you light a white candle and you listen to nice music or not, but just light a white candle, sit, take 3 deep breaths, and let go of the negative, and then you're connected. And you can be cooking in your kitchen and talk to the angels as well. You don't need any kind of drugs or mushrooms or whatever. Honestly, you don't need that. So I don't deny that they might visit some people who are in need of help in these situations, in need of help to get rid of their addiction, and try to connect to them, to show them that there's love somewhere waiting for them. In this sense, I absolutely believe they can connect to these people. Yes.
So what are some of the other forms that they take? Like you mentioned about let's say talking to men about them being light beings or energy or whatever. So have you encountered through your research different forms like orbs? You hear people talking about there's a ton of orb sightings of and they people say they're light beings, and some people say they're craft that are cloaked by like an orb of light kind of thing, or there's also other light beings. Like I think you had a vision as well of a light being. So is there a huge variety of manifestations of this?
Yes, of course. Because they are beings of energy. So energy can take many forms. And yes, they can appear into a human form, like the angel who saved my son. They can appear as an animal who's saving somebody. They can appear as a woman, as a man, as a child. They can appear as an orb. They can appear as a flame, as a flower, as anything that talks to you and that you need at a certain time. So yes, absolutely, all kinds of forms. Angels have no form and no appearance, and when they appear to us, they need to take a form that we can see and we can acknowledge as a celestial being. But it can be anything. It could be a pet. Like I have a lot of examples of people who their animal doing something special at a certain time to help them, because they're depressed and the animal becomes very affectionate, whereas he was pretty independent. Things like this happen. It's just because the angels can either appear in the form of the animal or influence the animal. They can really surround the animal with a beautiful energy, positive energy, and very strong energy to help the animal connect with his master, whoever that is. And pets are very connected to the angels. Children, babies, and sometimes babies are happy, like in heaven, because they have no consciousness of evil and negativity, and they are in this state that we should reach one day when we pass on, this state of utter happiness and real bliss. So yes, the angels can take many, many forms. And when people say, oh, my pet changed and did this for me, he was very affectionate, and because I was very down, and I felt this love from this animal. And it's something that comes from these beings who understand and know what you need at a specific time, and they help as much as they can. They do what they can for us. And this is why they intervene sometimes in an invisible way. We don't know an angel is there. And I would like to say angels have no ego, and they are not looking for any kind of reward, and they don't care about that. The only thing they care about is us, and us improving and feeling better. And this is why many, many angelic interventions are not visible. And some people say, oh, I don't believe in angels because nothing has happened to me. And sometimes I ask them, can you tell me some day did it happen to you that you almost had an accident that didn't happen, or you burnt yourself, but you healed very quickly, unexpectedly, fast. Many examples of this. I'm saying those who come to my mind, but there are so many. And then I'll tell them, the angels at work, you don't know, you don't see that, but they do good things for you that you don't even know about. And they are at work all the time. And when you know this, you feel accompanied by the angels, and you feel that you're never alone. There's always a being there for you. And the only thing that is difficult is to know that there is the other side trying to interfere and trying to bother you. So it's a constant fight. But if you have faith that you're not alone and that there is a divine presence by your side, you are stronger, you are happy, different, and your life takes a different turn. And it makes your life much better and enlightened. And you believe in love more than anything.
Darren, are you going to have your angel with you tomorrow when you're driving around the city all frustrated?
Probably.
Yeah? You going to think about it? I see now this will wake
Never
you up.
drive faster than your guardian angel can fly.
But he will tap on your shoulder and say, slow down, please.
So are you, is there anything else you think you'd like people to know about that are interested in learning more about angels before we start wrapping it up here?
I would just like to tell the people in our audience who's interested in angels that they are pure, they have no negativity, and remind them that they are not alone. They can connect the departed, the ones that they loved, they lost, to an angel and connect to this person and really feel there is beyond your understanding and your imagination, there is a being of light that is by your side all the time. And talk to him, ask him help, and you will see definitely results. It works. This connection really works.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, good. And you can, your book is full of examples of that and full of instructions on how to do that, which is great. And is there also like a website or other ways people can contact you?
Yes, of course. There's my website with my name, Marie-Ange Faugerolas, all attached, .com, my name.com.
Okay.
Very simple. And it will be a pleasure. They can leave me a message and I will be happy to answer and connect to them, obviously. And thank you so much for inviting me on your show. It was a great pleasure. I really enjoyed your questions, very interesting ones that allowed us to go further.
Yeah, great. Yeah, no, it was great to have you. Great to have you on, and I thought it was a great conversation.
And I really enjoyed it, and I really thank you. It was a wonderful moment with you.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck with your book, and we're going to link to all that in the show notes. And Darren, do you have anything to say?
No,
there?
yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. And don't drive too fast tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Marie. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
I'll send you a link when it comes out.
And that was our chat with Marie-Ange Faugerolas.
What'd you think, buddy? Did she make you an angel believer out of you?
Probably not quite.
Really?
I don't know. I'm not ruling it out. I think there's like guardian angels and stuff. Sure, why not? But I don't think I ever had a real problem with it.
No.
You know.
Yeah, that was great though. I liked hearing all the personal encounters with stuff like that you just, to me, like you just can't ignore.
The whole angels versus demons in the battle, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
But as far as angels in the loosest sense of the term, sure. I'm in.
Right on.
See, Gitmo? I do believe some stuff yet. Yeah, come back anytime. There's a big book. It's a book and a half too.
Yeah,
it's worth the buck.
If you're interested in angels at all,
it's like
seriously,
it's like an encyclopedia of angels.
Yeah,
it's as big as an encyclopedia. It reminds me of a textbook.
Yeah, you can look up the
That's
hierarchy.
Like Dave's book too.
Like date stuff and crystal stuff, and it's everything to do with angels. Yeah, like Dave Matheson's big.
It's like a textbook on stars.
We need a new bookshelf just to hold those two books.
The bookshelf
Actually,
is overflowing onto the floor and the table. Someday.
So people's donations really help with that kind of stuff.
We're really running. It just means we run out of space faster.
Yeah.
Anywho. Yeah. Big thanks to Marie-Ange for coming on the show. Big thanks to you guys for listening. Check out grimerica.ca/support for all the different ways you can help us out financially, whether that be a monthly subscription or a one-time donation. Help us stay ad, sponsor, affiliate free. Review the show wherever you can. tell people about the show wherever you can. Share the show.
Send me your guardian angel experience.
Yeah, send Graham your angel experiences,
or
lucid
any
dreams,
other kind of
trip
crazy
reports.
experience.
Just send him something to call him an asshole, whatever you like.
I can take it.
Maybe we could have a poll on how you pronounce nuclear.
You just about did it right there. Nuclear. Nuclear. So anyways, my email is graham@grimerica.com. Yeah, love to hear from you. Read them all, and if I don't respond, don't feel bad about hounding me and just sending me a reminder. Because I do they get lost.
Check out the shirts in the Twitter feed somewhere. There's some pictures of the shirts. On the Facebook page, there's some pictures of the shirts. And we have a bunch of Take the Shots. We're probably running low on stock on some of the other ones. We definitely have Classic Grimerica and Take the Shot.
We got a new batch of Classic Grimerica gray, and we have a few Save Sasquatches left, and then a bunch of Take the Shots blue.
Yeah, so get your shirts. Those are, of course, available with donations of $25 or more. If you are someplace other than North America, it is $30 or more. And I think we are getting ready to ship our first a shirt to Finland. So that'll be that's our first shirt to Finland.
Yeah,
what do we have?
bet.
One to the UK?
No, a couple to the UK now.
Any to Australia?
No, not yet.
No.
No.
Huh. All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Well, I'm going down the street, I'm gonna see Sadie. Gonna let her know that she's my baby. I'm tired of the game she's been playing on me. Well, I may be young and foolish inside, but I'm the one and I got my pride. And yeah, tonight, love's gonna be alright. Come on over, baby, come on out and see. Well, there's a whole wide world that's waiting on you and me. Today, hope we ain't gotta worry tonight. We ain't gotta run, it's alright. They don't let no angels out at night. We ain't gotta worry tonight. We ain't gotta run, it's alright. They don't let no angels out at night. Who said I ain't got a chance of reaching your hand? And I ain't the one to end up your man, but there's one thing you gotta understand. Yeah, my love is real, baby, my love's true. Baby, it don't mean that much to you, but here tonight, love's gonna see this through. Come on over, baby, come on out and see. There's a whole wide world that's waiting on you and me. Today, hope you see, we ain't gotta worry tonight. We ain't gotta run, it's alright. They don't let the angels out at night. No, 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 no. We ain't gotta worry tonight. We ain't gotta run, it's alright. They don't let the angels out at night. Over, baby, come on out and see. Well, there's a whole wide world that's waiting on you and me. Today, hope you. We ain't gotta worry tonight. We ain't gotta run, it's alright. They don't let the angels out at night. No, 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 no. We ain't gotta worry tonight. We ain't gotta run, it's alright. They don't let no angels out at night. No angels out at night. No angels out at night. No angels out at night.
I'm a rambling Graham with synchronicities all over the web. And Aaron is skeptical about everyone and don't believe it yet.
Nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear.
Oh, whatever.
Nuclear.